just watched that.
It's like,
and it was a little insulting, you know?
Well, it's, whatever, everybody's got their own opinion, but, when your theory gets torn up, you don't have to attack everybody that doesn't understand it.
Can you go back for like 3 seconds? I was a couple of minutes late. Who's blaming who?
No, so I'm taking heat because I got into Trey the other night, which whatever, Trey probably doesn't even care, right? That's just my opinion on this really dangerous theory that got put out this week by Trey and Astro. It's a dangerous theory. There's not enough proof of concept behind what they're saying. And it's changing the entire process that the ape community has been built off of.
Which is the buy and hold.
So
your safest bet.
So Astro is behind, is supporting this buying the puts?
He came up with a very good video on like the market corruption.
Yes, I love that video.
And why the theory came about. And then Trey doubled down on it. And then now it's a theory about buying puts to incentivize market makers to push the stock price back up.
Okay.
But the theory behind it is everyone would have to buy puts, and yes, we would hedge against any downturn on our AMC long, but the theory is, oh, they're all buying puts, so we're going to make the price go up. It doesn't make any freaking sense, man. They're talking about.
So are they looking? I'm sorry, Jen. So.
No, you're fine.
So they're saying to buy puts so that the market makers run the price up so that we're out of the money. Is this what I'm understanding?
Basically, the words were, you would buy puts to incentivize market makers to push the price in the other direction. So we didn't make money on our puts, but they're not going to do that because we would make more on our longs still. The only thing I see happening is the market makers who are already manipulating the market in the options chain are going to use the higher put demand to push the price down. Because nobody's going to go in and buy.
They'll just manipulate the options chain even more, to make it go in the direction that they want. It just doesn't make any sense.
And let's not forget that. So even if we bum rushed an expiration of next week with a $10 put or a $20 put, right? So which would now be in the money. So they think that they would push it higher just for that expiration. So we're all out of the money. We all expire worthless, and then they drive the price back down on Tuesday.
Right.
I don't understand it. I wonder if Astro can come on the call.
I would love for him to explain it, and I think if he did a call and explained his theory to everybody with a Q&A would be a very, very good thing, because Trey's video was insanely chaotic. Nobody could make up or down through everything he was doing. Astro's first video on the structure of the market was great. But then when we got into the meat and potatoes of we're going to buy puts to hedge to incentivize market makers to push the stock in the direction favorability of the longs, just does not make any sense when we're dealing. The options chain on AMC is basically like going to the blackjack table, playing against the house, but you only get one card. They are completely manipulating the options chain. We see the price fixing every single expiration date to put calls out of the money. But if we come in and add downward pressure on the put side, and this is just my theory, a bunch of apes come in to hedge their position and put downward pressure on the put side, they're just going to lose more on their long and cause the rest of the community to do as well, because the market makers are going to capitalize on that downward pressure.
And honestly, how many apes are going to have to buy how many expirations and how many contracts in order to pull this off?
Yeah.
And at what strike price too?
Right. That would be a huge coordinated effort.
Yeah.
And as every ape knows, we are not a coordinated effort. We just buy
Yeah.
and hold.
You know, and not all apes, you know, do options or have options, you know.
Hey
Right,
guys,
and
So,
that
I mean,
that would concern me if people just start buying puts because they think they're helping
That's-
the community when they're feeding the market makers.
And here's my problem with the whole thing in the last video. And like I said, man, I like Astro, I like Trey. I've watched them since day one. I'm not attacking them, but it's just frustrating when anyone in the community, especially from our group, decides to question anybody influential. We're just a bunch of fucking idiots, which is really annoying. The last video he just did was basically like, well, if you don't get this or you disagree with it, you're just a fucking idiot. And it's like, dude, that's not what's going
who
on.
said that?
okay, can I jump in here?
Wait,
I don't
hold
speak
on,
too
hold on,
often,
hold on.
but
One second.
Yeah.
Who said that if we don't agree?
well, if you watch Astro, last video, the video he just put out today, we're talking about that video.
He
Yeah.
goes on a rant about the blowback from the community, which a lot of it was good, a lot of it was bad. But basically, anybody that disagreed with it in any way, he's just like, he just literally is calling people fucking idiots nonstop in the video, and I'm like,
That's
dude,
not cool.
that's
He,
not what.
if you watch it, he does pretty
And
much call
didn't
somebody, so.
didn't he just do some video where he spoke about unity being, you know, decent human beings to each other?
That's
I don't like that. And I just actually invited Astro to the call to
Good.
explain. I don't know if he'll show or want to at this point, but I think he needs to, because calling people idiots if they don't understand options is not the right thing.
well, and it's just Astro's vibe, you know. He's just doing his call and doing his channel and everything. But it's such a complex thing they just put out. They can't expect everybody to understand immediately. And then the people who have a generalized understanding are like, well, if we're fighting market corruption already and we start buying puts to hedge,
it becomes collusion. What we're doing is becoming collusion, and then they can get after us.
absolutely.
That's the way I see it.
I 100% agree with that.
Yeah. And so it's a no-no. Like
It's
buy
not
and
a game
hold.
over at all.
Yeah, it's not exactly what you want to get into, just for the simple fact that it's not the honest way of going about it. We're colluding, and we become an entity or whatever they want to come after. You're doing exactly what they want you to do. Buy and hold is what you want to do, and that's what you should stick with. Anything else is just fucking
That's
background music.
pretty well said, Richard.
I'll better go at that.
You know, and not even yesterday, Chicago SEC put out a tweet talking about reporting stock fraud and stuff. Like we covered that in the ones call, I think. It's so dangerous and
That was so patronizing.
yeah.
That there's been enough people that's sent them information. The DOJ's said that they're looking at spoofing, which we've all been calling out. We've been watching orders hit the book.
Oh yeah.
And then they, as soon as it starts getting close, they'll bounce that order back and forth between, a 1 cent spread. And then once you clear it, they'll put that order higher up and create another wall. So to me, it's just like they're instigating shit. They're trying to make people think that they're going to do something. And it's like, I'm still hopeful that somebody, maybe the DOJ will actually go, nope, they're kind of right. They fucked up. But, it's just an instigating tweet. They're just trying to patronize everybody and go, oh, maybe they are doing something.
Yeah.
Maybe the DOJ is the only one I really even have any remaining hope on. I think the DOJ is going to have to be the ones to tell the SEC, no, there's illegal activity. You guys must follow this law because now it's criminal.
That's probably the only thing we could place any real money on, anyways.
I want to point out, I don't know if it was one of you guys that said it, but it was with the AMC $60 calls. For me, I believe in those calls because I saw them come through on the tape, on the flow, and they were just chunks of money. So I know for factually that was not all retail at that moment, right? But then we see these $60 calls throughout the chain. And then just recently, Spence, remember, we saw the HYMC change up a bunch and adding different strikes and adding weeklies, I believe. you know, and I was talking to a friend, and I don't know if it was one of you guys or one of my, you know, friends here, but I was explaining the situation. I was like, why would they do that if it wasn't going to run? And it was a man, and I remember this. He said, because retail will buy them. And I just looked at him like, holy cow. And he was like, they will do it if they know that retail's all jacked up. They'll put things on the chain. They'll even prepare a fake narrative, a fake trend, fake sentiment to suck retail in.
Wow.
Yeah, so please, I wish that everybody is very careful with these puts.
Absolutely. And it's like them adding a bunch of strike prices when you had a 45% up day. The next day, all of a sudden, you saw, like 41 on up to, you know, additional strike prices?
Well,
They're baiting them because people saw all these, like, super far out the money calls start just having IV explode on them and ramp up option contract prices. And it just allows market makers to get more liquidity. No one's not at one point did I think that, you know, all these additional calls that they were adding were ever going to run in the money in that time span. I was like, there's not going to let it happen. They're going to shut the shit down just like they did on a volatility halt. There's just no way they would allow it to happen.
Well,
period.
It's crazy that this theory comes out right after we just had a run to $4, and it looked like we were about to squeeze, and they had the volatility
Absolutely.
which I believe was triggered purposely by Citadel in their dark pool. So this theory comes out right after that when we were seeing really positive traction for the past month. We're still up for the past couple months off of our big bottom, and they want to change the entire thesis of the long play into something incredibly dangerous with zero proof of concept. It doesn't register to me at this point in time why you would want to. If you hedge individually, okay, I get it. I get what you're doing. But to try to, and this is just what it is. When you put a video out like that, you're influencing the community. That's what is happening, right? So,
and I have a question. I'm sorry. I'm so jacked up over this. Do people know, is he explaining how to do this? I mean, I got to watch the video. Is it being explained that, you know, okay, this week we hedged for 19, next week we hedged for 20, next week we hedged for 17?
It's explained pretty well, but you have to sit through a bunch of chaotic statements and marker board scribbles that are all over the freaking place. There's no order to what they're trying to explain it, which as soon as you look at the marker boards, you're like, Jesus, everything is all over the place. You have to sit through a lot of subtext to get to the meat and potatoes of what they're really trying to say. So it confuses the living shit out of everybody watching the video. So anybody that just says, I don't agree with this is crazy. Yes, they are getting some comments that are ridiculous, like, oh, you're working for the hedges and this and that, which you're going to get. It's the internet, so you can't be mad about that. We get it all the time.
Right. And he even said so to himself. Yeah, it's the internet. You know, he's going to, you know, whatever. So he's going to get nasty comments and stuff, of course.
When you put out that radical of a theory after we just ran to $34 and got manipulated again, what makes you think they're not, now that theory's out on the internet and the hedge funds know that that's something they're talking about, what makes you think they're not just going to change up their algos and their processes to manipulate you on the way down?
Exactly.
It just...
I hope, oh my gosh. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, Lord, I'm so sorry. I just looked at the tree, and this giant hawk is killing a squirrel, and I'm so done. And it's screaming. Come on, Maggie, inside. It's screaming. I can't.
Circle of life.
Oh.
It's the circle of life.
Okay, sorry. I totally forgot, so I'm just going to be quiet for 5 minutes.
I just got a comment. You know, Unusual Whales even put out something in the it was fairly recent, that it was addressing AMC and GME, and I think his response was like, these are the data is too unreliable for him to even really be able to post accurate stuff beyond the options flow. I mean, when you have a dude that is like nailing Congress to a fucking wall for trading all of these stocks on non-material public information before the public knows, I think the dude has got, I mean, I think that says something when he can't even really decipher it and go, this is what I think is going on.
And that's the thing,
Exactly.
he's being honest, and he has a responsibility to when he's going whales, and I appreciate that about him. So
100%. But it just shows that the person that has been able to nail Congress on all these trades has to come out and go, yeah, the data for me is so unreliable, I can't even make predictions or understand what's going on. That has to say something that it's messed up.
That's with HYMC too. The data is so jacked up. You can go to several different brokers and reporting agencies, and HYMC's data, its basic data, is not correct anywhere. There's 4 different short interest numbers out there, and the only one I really believe is the one I found on Reddit, because it's just the basic short interest formula. They're purposely, I will tell you right now, I think they are purposely and intentionally putting out bad reporting data. Fintel erased the short interest for HYMC after it was reported at 94%. I think they're being paid or told literally to misreport data so that people can't make accurate decisions on what we're doing in our investments. Because AMC, HYMC, and GME are the only ones that we have the issues with, or the glitches, or the fake price action. So it's just crazy.
Yeah, something doesn't add up.
It's crazy to try to come out with a theory that we think we're going to somehow manipulate the options chain against a multi-billion-dollar algorithmic function from the most elite traders in the world. The simplicity of the buy and hold as individual retail investors is what makes it work.
Hey, Spence. So I added to the top Miss Money Honey. I don't know who she is, but she said that we're only getting part of the theory. I don't know if she's on the call or if she just saw a retweet, but I did invite her to the call. To buy puts theory is using the 1348 strategy. If you don't know options, then don't do it, plain and simple. So, I've been trading options for 6-7 years, and I never engaged this 1348 strategy. So I don't know what that means, but she said in another tweet that the theory is to mess up their algorithms.
Yeah, the 1348 crossover. Review Dork did something on this a long time ago. And with that, when Review Dork came out and tried to do the buy high, sell, or sell low and buy back, sell high and buy back in low, he got ripped apart. So
Yep.
in a sense, when we're doing this with the puts to hedge against AMC, it's, in my opinion, it's not entirely too much different, because you're still putting demand on the put side in the options chain. And then, like she just said, if you don't know options, don't do it. I would have to venture to guess that close to 60% of this community has no idea how to do options. Maybe that's
I agree
with that. Maybe even more.
People do not understand how those can be moved around. I mean, like these indecisive days where you get these bounces up, dude, they're absolute traps. Because then they'll get huge green candles, and people will start going, "Oh my God, here it goes," and they start buying these huge out of the money calls that just had a spike in IV and started making them a little pricier, and then people get trapped in them, and then they lose their money, and you just provide liquidity, and then they just dump it back down. I've watched it. I've gotten, 8 months ago, 6 months ago, I got caught in them before, and I was like, not doing that again. And every single time I watch it and I go, all right, let's see, 3, 2, 1, and then it's like red candle, like Knew it.
See,
Not even gonna bother.
here, on that, I took heat and some other people took heat for saying, hey, stop buying call options, like reduce the demand on the options chain for them to steal everybody's premium and just buy and hold shares and put the demand through that way. But if people bought options and they're not in the money, and if everybody just exercised the call options they were buying, that would put more pressure on too. But anything that seems to be against the theories of people, like, I mean, Astro's last video, he wasn't attacking anybody individually, but man, it's basically like, if you don't understand, you're a fucking idiot. It's like, it come off so bad. And I think it's such a dangerous theory to push on the community at this point in time, nearing a very fine line of colluding. Right after we just had a major price run in a really, really crooked halt, I think the market makers would just take complete advantage of it and destroy us on our long positions. It would probably give them the ammunition they need to push us down past the 1298 bottom. That's just my theory on it, man. I don't know. They're pushing it extremely hard. And the justification videos are not very friendly, so.
I wonder how. I didn't watch Trey's option trading class that he had or something. Did you guys see it?
I didn't catch that one.
He had an options trading.
I don't know.
I didn't get in on that.
Something. I don't know. I didn't see it, but I thought that it would be interesting. I'm going to sit down and watch these videos. And, I would agree with you, Spence, that Astro didn't mean to be a jerk.
Right.
I'm sure. But really, he should come on and explain. I mean, look, I don't know what the 1348 theory is. If I know, what's that noise?
It's a ratchet. He's working on a motorcycle, I bet.
Oh, okay.
I had my mic muted. Sorry if that was, yeah.
That's okay.
Motorcycles for a day job.
Oh, okay. We all hedge, right? I mean, we don't all hedge. I hedge. I don't know what the 1348 theory is, and I'm pretty good at hedging, and I don't know what that means. So I think that it's hard. You just can't say if you know options, you'll know that. I think I'm pretty okay at options. It's weird. I don't know.
Here's the thing, too. If you even try to discuss it and it goes against the theory of what people believe, there was somebody that came in and got on me about going after Trey and this and that and pushing the theory. He couldn't wait to push the theory, and then a day later he said he hadn't even watched the video yet. Wow. I was like, what do you mean you didn't watch the video? You came in our call and pushed it.
Hello.
Hey, what up,
Did you let me go?
DMP?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good, man.
Hey, so I've been here, 14, 15 months, and I get what everyone's talking about, trying to crack the safe open. And I just think we've come this far. I think playing the puts, the options, is just taking too much of a risk. I mean, we should just be patient a little longer. I think we have Adam Aaron. I truly believe he's working for us. He's been awfully quiet lately. Who knows? We got May coming up, for earnings. We have Ryan Cohen on the other side, who's going to be, giving out a dividend. And I don't know what the rush is in trying to make this thing tough. Doing these puts, it's like, fuck it. I mean, we've been here for so long, and believe me, I want this to pop as fast as the
we
next
all
one.
do. We all do.
But it's
totally.
like, seriously,
But you got to have some patience, yeah.
I mean, give it what's another couple of months, 2 or 3 months or whatever, just see what Adam has up his sleeve and what Brian's doing. I mean, they both hate these hedge funds. I mean, despite when they're going to do everything they can to cook them, I don't think we have enough. And like Spence says about the collusion, oh my God. You don't think they're not listening on this? They're probably taping it. It's recording. And we don't want to get caught in any collusion. I mean, I'm just frustrated because I hear everybody else's frustration, and everybody wants to turn on a dime and try something else new. But you know what? Let's just buy and hold, and if you can't buy, just hold.
Well,
Right.
That's all I have to say. You know?
100%.
we
Right.
have more catalysts coming up this year than we had ever last year. And, you know, even Doctor Strange just beat out Batman pre-sales. So we have movies that are going to bring in massive cash to AMC, plus the potential of the release of retail popcorn, credit cards, and crypto. GME's dividend thing coming up. HYMC spiking, wrecking shorts left and right. I mean, they just hosted an HYMC short seller call last night, invited me to it. I didn't go, and HYMC's was up 9% at the top today. So I don't know what we're doing. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think everything's going to turn out the way it is. I'm 63, believe me, and I'm retiring in the next couple of months. June 1st is my last day. You guys are like my kids, for God's sake, that young. What's another friggin'? What if it takes another year? Holy shit! Who cares? I mean, we all talk about how it's a savings account. Well, treat it like it's a savings account. You know, if you can afford, buy a couple of shares here and there, keep on adding it. I know my conviction is 100% there. There is no way. There's no way that they're going to get out of this. They can't. The only way they can
Agreed.
is if they totally, the government, SEC, and they just fucking pull the plug and say, fuck you, this ain't happening. That's the only way it's going to happen, right? I mean, they're trapped.
They are trapped. And you know why? Because so from the way I'm understanding this, and you guys please correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not obviously right all the time, and a lot of times I'm not right at all. But so we're basically in an illiquid trade, so they have to create liquidity by creating naked shorts, which is why it's ongoing, right? So I don't know. I think the system is broken if buying and holding creates illiquidity. I think that's a big problem. And so
Exactly.
my thought is that they're just pushing and pulling and pushing and pulling while we stand fast in our trade. And they can't do that forever, right? They can't create liquidity for a moment and then be illiquid again and then create liquidity for a moment. This is going to get tiring for them at some point. They can't continue unless they think of something crazy else to do. They cannot continue this dance of creating synthetics for liquidity purposes and then shorting the stock and getting illiquid again.
It already is tiring for them. We've seen multiple hedge funds go out of business in the past year. And that's just how 2008 started. One by one, they started falling off. And then the big admission had to come out and say, oh man, we really screwed up. Let's grab hands. Let's go to who was first?
Sugar was first, so Sugar, and then either Paul or Swing.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. How are you guys?
Good. How about you?
Good. Okay, so with a great following comes a great responsibility. So a lot of these people, I have respect for every one of them. Doesn't matter how many followers you have, but in order to just come out and put some videos and say how puts work and all that, how much we can do and how much we can make the money, why don't we educate people more how the puts work? You have to educate people, provide them more knowledge. Make them aware how much you can lose too, not just how much money you can make and how much options you can hedge. And if you don't do that and people buy puts and they lose their ass and tomorrow they come after you, then you should be ready about that too, because you can't just go out and say stuff and put videos and then people lose their money. Somebody has to take responsibility for that too, man.
Well,
And Sugar, I'm so glad you brought that up, because you know what they're going to do? They're going to lose it all on the puts. They're going to get pissed and they're going to sell their longs. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
That pisses me off.
Exactly. Yeah.
And also, I just posted, Frank Nez did another blog, and it's why AMC's MOAS just threatened by the new put theory. So we should see if Spence, if you want to read it.
What?
Maybe we should
What
see what
was
he's
that
got
on?
to say. I tagged it to the top. I posted it to the top.
Did you say Frank Ends?
Yeah, Frank Nez, I call him.
He's put out some pretty good content too, so he'd probably be the only person really pushing for the AMC play in any type of media. So
Yeah, he's not. He's saying that the puts theory is wrong.
right.
So maybe we should see why. Maybe read it. Maybe a couple of paragraphs. They're never that long.
Let me read it while we get to these other hands, and then I'll
Okay.
come back
Oh, I didn't
so I
know.
understand
Okay.
what's in it.
Yep. Okay.
So just going forward, just be like, we are so close. Like, if all these hedge fund people and all these shills come in and commenting, or you're trying to scare us, if these things doesn't like tell you like how scared and frustrated the other side is, I don't know what else can tell you. And what the DMP, that guy said, like, we have come so far, not just to come so far, just to get into some kind of legal issues. And, Adam is doing what he knows he has to do. And, every time he gets quiet, there was a time when I used to think, man, why is he not saying something? But now every time he gets quiet, I'm thinking like, man, he's brewing something. He's going to just stick up a crow. I don't know who's up whose ass. So I think let's let him do his job. And, let people, those who are in charge, and just because you have a following, like, don't get ahead of yourself. If community gets hurt, people get hurt, nobody's going to pay their bills. Nobody else. So, educate people, provide them knowledge, and let them, we are all on the same course and we are getting very close. Let's just stick to that and, try to lift each other on our way up there.
Absolutely, Shug. Whoever was next, go ahead. Paul or Swing.
Go ahead, Swing. You were up. Yeah, I'm just gonna share quickly. Like everyone says, if you buy, hold. If you can't buy, go see a movie. Go download a movie using AMC on demand. Do whatever you can to help the company, because us selling tickets and doing fun things with your family to help your families out. There's Sonic 2 coming out this week. It's a great movie to potentially see with the family. Obviously Doctor Strange is going to be amazing when that comes out. There's always a movie to go and see, and if 4 million apes every single weekend went and saw a movie at AMC, that would set off the MOAS, just because the short thesis would be destroyed. That would be more ticket sales on a weekly basis. That's all that needs to be done. If one ticket per ape, or if a family of 4, every ape was a family of 4, and even multiply that more, that'd be insane. 16 million tickets, that'd be insane. I think the highest weekend that's been reported was maybe 6 million, I want to say, at AMC for Spider-Man. That's the number that comes at the top of my head. So anyway, go spend some money at AMC with the family. And if you can't go to one, go use AMC on demand.
I couldn't agree with that more or say it any better. That was perfect. I'm going to clip that as a clip. If you go to the movies and you do all that, don't forget to tweet and socialize about it either. Because viral sensationalism and trending is what gets people out of the house. Subconsciously, your Facebook and your Twitter and your Instagram and all that is pumping that information into your face. And if people see that you had a good time at the movies, they're going to go, oh man, I forgot the movies even existed. There's still people coming out of the COVID coma. Like, they don't know what's going on yet. Restaurants are starting to fill back up, but we're the investor and the consumer. No other company really has that except for maybe a handful. We can control the narrative completely by doing exactly what Swing just said. You can't beat cash. Cash is king. And if AMC has it, there's no short thesis.
Yeah, along those lines, I mean, AMC, while the Q1 wasn't as great as Q4 last year, it was still pretty darn good. It was almost as good as Q3 last year, which had some pretty big movies that came out. And if you look at the year-to-date numbers, I haven't looked at today yet. I want to say year-to-date, we're basically at the equivalent of like July 16th, maybe 17th right now, something like that. You know, and it's only April as far as revenue on the domestic box office. So with a really strong Q2, which it should be thanks to Doctor Strange and Sonic and all these other movies, I think it's possible that we could get we probably won't get there, but it'll be pretty darn close to possibly passing domestic box office totals last year.
Yeah.
Just through Q2. So
Batman,
anyway,
Doctor Strange just surpassed Batman, but is below Spider-Man. Spider-Man was sensational. But you also have Top Gun, Avatar 2, a million really high quality movies coming out this year. So Q2, Q3, and Q4 are going to have massive cash injections. And if Adam Aaron, which I think he's being quiet because he's getting ready to announce his next play, or he's dealing with leaks that are speaking to Gasparino currently as to Gasparino's last tweet about AMC board member insiders or whatever from May. So there's probably another leak he's dealing with, which is why he went running silent. But when he does, he comes out with some kind of catalyst. So I think showing him support by doing what Swing said and loading the movie theaters up, which he gets excited about, is literally the absolute number one best thing we can do. And this is what I said the other night too about a lot of the influencers that are putting out videos like this Put Stuff. I never see them post about going to the movies. Everybody in our community, especially Pam, man, the trader, the moderator on the YouTube, and Pam the Trader, she's always at the movies, dude, every weekend. And I think, like I said, going and trending that and posting it on social media is something we need to bring back. I think everybody got so excited about Highcroft and everything that happened so fast that we just kind of fell off the basic topic of buying the product. That was great, Swing. Thank you for coming up and saying all that. That's something everybody needed to hear. Paulie.
So can I have the floor for a second?
Hold on one sec. We got to get Paul's hand. We were going in order,
no
and we'll get right to you, man.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'll put my hand up. I didn't
All
know.
good.
I'm sorry.
No, all good.
Okay, so I agree with that, Swing. I think that was excellent what you said, and if you can, everyone should do that anyways, just to get away from the shit we go through on Twitter and just go have some fun with your family or yourself and just enjoy it and post it and just say, you know, how great it is. Those are great. That was a great thing you brought up, Swing. I really appreciate that. So what I want to talk about is not these put theories or anything like that. I just want to go back in time. And also what you guys or who's been following me knows the stuff I've been posting. So 14 months ago, the MOAS was stopped, right, because of a bailout to Melvin. And so that was Point 72 and Citadel bailed them out. So a large firm bailed out a medium firm to stop things from going. So, yeah, we all know that. That's past history, but I just want to let you know, if you follow me or that are in here and Twitter isn't stopping you from seeing the stuff I post, I've been posting about margin calls and people bailing out people. And so what's happening that I've seen is the small firms are getting bailed out by the bigger firms or bailed out by the banks. And this is what was talked about a year and a half ago on Reddit and on Twitter, and how things would go down. And that's what's occurring right now. There are hedge funds failing and they're being liquidated, but they're being bailed out. I mean, they go out of business, but their position is being taken over or paid for by a bank or a larger hedge fund. And if you can look at the LME nickel situation. That's a great story. That's a prime example of a bailout. J.P. Morgan bailing out a billionaire. But regardless of that, that's what's occurring right now. So I don't play puts. I don't play options. I don't suggest anybody do that. But listening to what Mark had said about it, and I put a tweet out about that, it's not a very good idea. But even if you put all that aside, buy and hold still works in this situation, even though we do know that Citadel and know how to circumvent the buy and hold. But why it still works is this: one, you got to have a ticket to get to the moon. You got to have a ticket to get to MOAS. But the second part is, what I'm saying is, if now the smaller hedge funds are being liquidated out of the system and gone, and are being bailed out by banks or larger hedge funds. But banks are starting to take over the hedge funds. It's slowly but progressively going up. And everything that I've seen in the market is pointing to a tremendous crash that's coming. I mean, it's just a wait right now. But bailouts are happening. We're just not seeing it yet for these plays. And if some of these hedge funds are being bailed out that are in this play, we don't know what they were holding and who they are. But I can guarantee you that, in my opinion, that is what's going on. So buy and hold still works, folks. And I just want to let you know that.
You know, Paul, on that too, with them bailing each other out, all they're doing is cannibalizing each other by eating up liquidity, which is why we're starting to see fund after fund either be closed or go out of business, or banks closing down funds that are under them. So I completely agree with that. The cycle is getting, I would say, very, very near to an end, where the final liquidity crunch is going to hit the final big player, and we're going to see some fireworks. Because this week in the market, man, the short sellers, the ones that we're mainly concerned about, their long positions went freaking down, dude. Like, really down. Armor, freaking Affirm, Netflix, I could name a million of them. So they had a big loss this week for sure.
Did you see Elon Musk tweet 22 minutes ago? I pinned it to the top of the call.
No, I didn't. I'm not getting my alerts. Price of lithium is gone to insane levels. Tesla might actually have to get into the mining and refining directly at scale.
Holy shit.
Let's go.
Oh gosh.
Dude.
Can you imagine?
This is just incredible. Let's go.
It's primed for him to jump in on it, man. All he would have to do is invest in HYMC.
Well, you know, I used to work for a mining company called Vale that's here, and Elon Musk signed a contract with them for their nickel. So
yeah,
I mean, he is seeking out companies to either buy or write contracts with.
And Nevada does have sizable lithium deposits according to the geomaps from all the .gov websites where you can check mineralization, uranium, gold, silver, all that. So, John Q, go ahead, man.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. So I was kind of curious on, like, for HYMC right now. What do you think how do you think if everybody kind of got together and sold $2 puts on HYMC for January 23? You know, if we all sold, that would be a positive play. It would be, you know, it'd be like a long play for it to go up. And if everybody was doing that, how do you think it would affect some of these guys?
I think it's probably impossible to organize that if you're talking about community wide, plus it's collusion. But you said if everybody sold puts.
Yeah, because when you sell the puts, you're actually, it's you know what I mean. So because right now, if you sell, because that's what I was looking at this morning, to sell those puts this morning, if I would have got on it, I would have gotten $1.15 per put, and it would have been a $2 strike price for January. So I would have made well over 50% of my money.
Yeah.
In 1 year. So, and yeah, if I ended up with them and acquired them or got assigned them, it would have been at 85 cents per share.
See,
which to me is a fucking steal.
Absolutely. I guess if you're asking me, would it affect the shorts? in the way we want. I honestly can't tell you that because I don't know what the market makers will do with a loaded options chain like that. It's so unpredictable on what they can and cannot do, or what they can do illegally, and then just pay $1 million fine for. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, one of the things I found interesting is when I entered that on I have a E-Trade and Fidelity, but I entered it on E-Trade, and one of the things that came up when I entered it is it said this is a highly borrowed security.
Yep.
And you may have to pay an additional fee if you are assigned or acquire this stock.
Well, the theory on. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so it's obvious that right now there's a huge crunch on it, and to get it, because they're talking about how much it costs to borrow it.
Yep. It's over 50%.
Yeah, because they were talking about 25%. So if it would have been $10.10 to buy or to acquire it for them, it would have cost you $11 because they round up.
Let me pull up Reddit real quick. I'm gonna read you something, and I kind of went in and got close to this same math provided in this HYMC Reddit DD, which is saying the short interest is actually 117%.
Yeah, I think, if not more.
It's pretty good DD for Reddit. The HYMC community on Reddit's pretty clean. It was nice to come back and read it. My buddy sent me it in a DM, Matty O. He's a real big HYMC guy, but it says basically compared to all the 13F filings, the HYMC filings, and all the data put out, he got sources for it all. They're saying that basically there's 196.8 million shares outstanding. There's 182.4 million shares basically restricted, owned by people, big companies like AMC and Sprott and stuff like that. So technically the free float's only 14.4 million.
Okay.
And as of April 6th.
1 second there, Spence. I'm going through a border crossing, so I'm going to be gone for a few seconds.
Go ahead, bud. Go ahead.
You guys can go ahead and talk amongst yourselves.
Hey, Spence, did you read the Frank Nez thing?
I did.
So it seems to me that it goes the way the market goes. It's like what people do naturally when they trade options.
Yeah,
that's what happens.
They kind of wrote the same theory we're talking about on it being. He didn't really put a lot of technical stuff in it, but he said it's really dangerous. A lot of people don't know how to do it. It's a bad gateway into options. It's a really bad gateway into options if you are going to get into it. And he also said if people start buying puts, will that prove the theory right and help AMC shareholders, or will it just provide more liquidity for market makers?
That's exactly what we're saying.
Exactly. Let me make this.
I want to add something too, because the way Frank Nez explains it is that it's just simple hedging, but we're, ganging a hedge.
Right, exactly. And he's very simple in his delivery of what he's saying, just like we're trying to be. And the theory, I'm all for new theories, and good for Trey and Astro for doing what they did, because they did have good information in their video about how the market structure is working right now. That's the most important takeaway in the video. But the theory of buying puts to somehow manipulate market makers in the options chain to push the price the other way is basically tinfoil hat. But they're trying to preach it as, man, they got, or at least Astro was pretty worked up over some of the comment. Obviously, any mean comments he doesn't deserve, any rude stuff, but not agreeing with it or not understanding it doesn't make you a fucking idiot, and questioning it means you're trying to learn.
Mm-hmm. So he should this is the opportunity for him to educate.
Well, I hope he would host a space call so people could do a Q&A with him.
Right. That would be ideal. Like, it would be awesome if we could get him into this space call.
Yeah, like I said, I invited, but I mean,
a lot of the YouTube guys quit going to space calls after the whole review dork thing, because they just got blown apart in there because they had to answer on the spot questions, and it didn't work out too well. And I didn't even participate in
that
those.
the guy that said sell and buy back cheaper
Yeah.
and was touting that like he didn't even know about a wash call.
Yeah,
It was probably that fat bastard Lou.
well, we're not doing that in this call, man. But anyways, hey, John, okay, there you are. Are you over the border?
I made it back. Yeah. So, but yeah, it was just that's why I brought it up, because I know all this stuff where they're telling people to buy calls. That just didn't make any sense to me, because a lot of times when people are buying calls, the market makers make the market go the other direction.
Right.
So everybody loses their money. And I know that because I've been doing options for years, and I've seen it happen multiple times, especially on highly shorted stocks. And so it just doesn't pay to do that unless you have inside information, which is, besides being illegal, is really hard to get. So it just never made any sense to me that somebody would even say that, you know, unless they're trying to FUD people and make them lose their money.
Right. And also is making the community wonder, have you guys been hedging your position the whole time, which goes against the narrative that was being spit, or did you sell your position and are now just back in?
Right. Well, and to me, if it's a hedge fund and they're not hedging,
right,
that's counterintuitive.
Right.
You know, because you know that they are, because that's all they do. That's what a hedge fund is. That's why they call it a hedge fund.
So what we were talking about a minute ago, I'll finish that up with the Reddit short interest theory, is that he's come out and did some math, and I verified about 75% of it. I asked him a question on a 13F filing if they were counting the shares that were owned by White Box Advisors. But they basically said shorts still owe 119% short interest, because the free float is actually 14.4 million, and they had 17.15 million shares short at the time of this posting. So I think that's where some of the numbers of the really, really big interest, like Fintel had 98% short interest at one point in time. So it's pretty interesting. I'll actually, let me see if I can post this up in the thread so people can look at it. Maybe they can get a different perspective on it.
Also, can I just hop in and say something? Hedging your longs is not a problem. It's, you're generating money while you're taking a hit. I don't think any one of us has enough money to hedge our position where we would move the market, right?
Can I piggyback up off you on that real quick?
Yes, please.
Okay. So if you realize what's happening right now, the puts and buying puts is super foolish, because you still have theta against you. If you sell puts, well, you obviously want the stock to be going your way. But I mean, if you're going to sell calls and it goes down, you're hedging your position, and if you notice, the calls are so much more expensive than the puts. So why not sell the expensive thing while we're waiting for it to go where we all inevitably want it to go? Use that money in order to buy more shares so you can sell more covered calls, so you can buy more shares so you can sell more covered calls, and then eventually the market maker is not going to have any shares to do it with if we actually do this properly. But if we just keep buying and holding and buying and holding, the market maker is going to have their way with all of us.
So you should do a video, Tom, and you should do a video of it. What is that noise? Somebody has to mute.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. You should definitely do a video on that. Are you able to do a video on that? Because I think that what you're saying to do is relatively like tier 1, tier 2 option trading. And I think a lot more of us would be able to do that than anything else.
So, I mean, as they always say, like,
buy and hold's the formula. Buy and hold. That's what we do. Buy and hold. Fuck all these fucking options.
Okay, you just interrupted. That's not cool.
Yeah, so if, let's say you have 500 shares, you got to have money to make money, right? Well, you have 500 shares. Use your equity and put it on the line when you know these hedgies are doing the same thing and manipulating our stock. You can sit there and cry on the side, or you can make money on the side, and it's still going to go the way it's going to go. We all know inevitably where this is going. So, well, I mean, as juiced as the options are, why not just play market maker until eventually you're going to have so much money to buy back more shares and sell even more options. You just keep multiplying the amount of money you're making in your stake in AMC. Eventually, like I said, these hedge funds won't have the ability to even, the cost to borrow will go through the roof because they're just not going to be able to rinse and repeat because they're going to be all held in retail's covered calls. Again, if you just buy puts, then you have theta against you. But if you sell calls, theta is in your favor. So while you're waiting for it to go up, time is ticking on. Normally, your options call that you'd buy is just plummeting in value because theta is killing you. Well, theta kill is in your favor when you're selling them. So you're damn right. When I know that there's a 1348 cross or something, I'm buying straight up calls because they're super profitable. But if I see a 1348 cross to the downside and volume looks like it's headed that way, well, I'm going to make money that way too. And I'm going to buy more shares so I can sell even more contracts.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I just want, like, okay, so I don't understand. So what? All right, I just have to really get more familiar, I guess, with the 1348 because I don't understand that. If I see the stock going down, I look at the theta, I look at the delta, is it the delta, the gamma, and I figure out what I'm going to do. And if it goes down pretty good, I make money and I buy more shares. I sell the put and I buy more shares. So if I can learn a different way, that would be awesome.
1348 is just a moving average cross. So when the two moving averages cross each other, there's usually a pretty decent move. Now, you need to be able to read the volume profiles and see if it's actually a decent move or is this a fake out and it's just going to turn around on you again. So it's tricky. It's not easy. But, like, you can get it, if you do it a lot and you pay attention a lot, like, you can get a feel for what it's going to do. I don't know if anybody's seen this Caden guy or whatever. He's like, oh, it looks super bullish. But, like, if you look at the volume profiles, it's dog shit. Like, there's no buying pressure right now. We're just falling off a cliff. And so the volume speaks for itself. And whether it's hedge funds or whoever it is manipulating the volumes and putting it on dark pools, whatever it is, it's still happening. So you can sit and cry on the sidelines, like I said, or you can make money. And you just keep making money. And that's what we're all here to do. I know it started with AMC, but, like, I've been holding and buying more AMC since, like, December of 20. So, I mean, let's fucking go. I'm here for a squeeze, but until that happens, I'm going to make myself a fat steak in order to squeeze even bigger. And when it gets to the top, guess what? I'm not selling my shares. I'm going to sell more juice covered call options that are 10,000% IV and just deposit it in my account while the price goes to some, fib level, 4842 or 4618 or maybe 6618. Like, it's just going crazy. Well, instead of selling your shares, sell covered call options. You're going to get way more money out of the covered call options in the long run, and you're still going to keep your equity stake.
You are on fire. Do you have a YouTube channel?
I don't. I just follow a bunch of YouTubers since December.
You should make a YouTube channel.
You
really should.
That many times.
Try it. I would definitely sub because I think so I'm following what you said, but imagine it explained out like slower with a whiteboard, I think that would be amazing. And that would make me feel way more comfortable engaging that 1348.
Well, and that's what I'm telling people about the Thinkorswim paper trading, PJ, that we're going to, every Thursday starting next week, I'm going to jump on with my free Thinkorswim paper trading, and I'm going to start doing this type of stuff so people who don't know can engage, because I think the best way to do it is to learn by doing it, but this way you don't lose your money. You know what I mean? So if anybody wants to engage in that, Thursdays at noon, I'll just host a quick Twitter space call. If you're going to do it, get Thinkorswim downloaded and familiarize yourself on how to get to the paper trade options stuff and look at it, familiarize yourself, and then we'll go in and we'll all pick a company and an option and we'll talk about it and we'll place it and we'll see what happens. And then we can go out and ask questions about it to people who know better than the people in that community.
This conversation makes me understand. So I don't do bad in options. I hardly expire worthless. I'm out at 10%, and my typical take is between 30 and 40%. And I don't know any of this. What better of an options player, an options trader can I be if I actually understood it the way it was all explained like that? And I love the Spence, but I can't do an option class without having money, without having, a couple of contracts in the game.
Well, the whole point is to do it without, for first-time people, to do it without losing their money.
Oh, yeah. I guess, yeah.
Guys, we have a ton of hands up. So do you want to start with Patrick, then Yair, then Hank, then Eric, then John Public, then John Bennett, and then Swing? Go ahead, Patrick. You can go if you're still there. Okay, Yair, go ahead.
I just wanted to say I'm headed back into work, but I appreciate you guys letting me hop on. It was nice talking with all you, and I'll look for the next base call.
I'll look for the YouTube channel.
All right. Thank you.
Sounds like a mix between Jay Brett and Joey.
Are you talking about Joey from Friends?
No, Joey Cameron from our Twitter Spaces stuff. Like your intelligence level on what you're talking about and your demeanor is like a perfect mix of those two. They're both really smart guys, so it's a compliment.
Well, hey, I appreciate that. Thanks, sir.
Swing, what's up, man?
I was just going to say, the covered call is selling data is an amazing tool. And it is, if you sell a covered call over your cost basis, it is impossible for you to lose money. It is only possible for you to make money. And it's great when those either expire worthless or like today, once I realized that the price action on GameStop was going sideways and not going to really do anything, I sold a covered call and made a quick $40 because I bought it back at the very towards the end of the day, so I could sell one for next week above my cost basis again. So it's literally a win-win because you get paid money. Yes, hypothetically, your shares can get called away, but if you're selling it above what it costs, your shares cost you, and you either take that money to buy dips, or you can also, if you're an active trader, you can actually swing it too, where you buy that contract back on a dip, and then on the next rip, sell it again. And you can kind of rinse and repeat that way too. If you're someone that's active and able to look at the markets every day and be able to see like recently, it seems like we're on this trend of having a morning dip and then recovering later in the day. There seems to be two patterns. Either we have the morning rip and then they smack it down underneath VWAP and we never recover, or it's the opposite where they smack us down in the morning and then we slowly recover. Maybe we get over VWAP, maybe we don't, and that type of thing. And so based off of that pattern, you can actually swing your options contract too. And if you're buying and selling it within the day, you're not going to make a ton of money on the theta difference between the theta and the implied volatility and that type of thing. But you can actually make some money. And like today, for me to make basically risk free $42, that's great. I'm getting paid for my shares, and just looking at the charts, knowing what the volume profile is going to do. I think that's the other thing, is to realize, like, for AMC to rip, we need to have that $20-30 million volume per hour. If we don't have that volume, we're not really going to go anywhere. And I don't have as good a feeling on GameStop, but definitely need to have more than 6
So
million.
how does shorting the stock help us? How does shorting AMC help anybody? How's that going to bring them a ass?
It's not shorting it.
Selling covered calls doesn't.
Yeah, I'm on about the other
selling
people before this guy. He's boring me to death.
Yeah, selling covered calls does not induce selling pressure.
That guy's a known shill. I meant to tell everybody to stop bringing him up, but he causes havoc in every space he goes into. He did it this morning at the Ape Radio space. So.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
my bad. I didn't realize that. I'm sorry.
And so anyway, I mean, teach their own. Obviously, if people don't know what they're doing, but the great thing about selling any type of option contract, like what was said earlier, is that you are selling time to the other person versus when you're buying a contract, you are buying time. So selling time, if you position the contract in such a way where it's above your cost basis, or when you're selling a put, it's at a price point where you would be happy to buy shares at that price, you can't really lose. And you're gaining that, like I said, you're gaining data exposure. So as time goes on, that contract loses value. And so you can buy it back for cheaper than what you sold it for. That's basically the thought process. So.
Yeah, and Spence, that's what I was saying. Yesterday, I know some people could get caught out with some covered calls, but it's like that's what I've done. Is just sold. Days that you just know the thing isn't turning around. I've sold some covered calls just to put a little more cash away to add to my position.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I've never had a problem with selling covered calls whatsoever. I personally don't do it, but just from what you guys said in that big run between you, Swing, Stonky, and PJ, I went into my Thinkorswim because I don't have as much experience in selling covered calls, but I went in and I set one up and I placed one for free in the Thinkorswim. And that's where people, what I've been saying for months is paper trading, if you're successful in it, yes, it's like, oh man, I could have done real money. But you're setting yourself up for future success by doing an active activity in paper trading if you're even thinking about getting into options, because that has been nothing but the talk of the community for the past month now. So
yeah, absolutely.
I encourage everybody just to try the Thinkorswim paper trading app. Is easy, free, quick sign up, and it costs you nothing and it gives you experience. And when you hear people talking about options, you can jump on it real quick and kind of explore what they're saying. That's what's going to make the community.
I'm going to back you up on that big time. Market tuition is a real thing, and market tuition can be very expensive. And a paper trading account will keep you going to college for free.
Yep, that's it. That's just exactly it. You guys are the ape community has been one of the most massive education movement in the history of the world for free, with unlimited resources and people to help you. But I think there's a lot of people that just refuse to take any necessary steps to improve themselves. It's if you're even thinking about options, and if the videos we covered today bother you, then take away that worry by learning what's going on, setting up some paper trading, practicing the theory for free, and then you will see if it pans out or not. Which, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do exactly what Trey and Astro described, and then when everything finally squeezes off, we'll see where we're sitting. Unfortunately, it's not going to put, and individually, me, I would never put any type of pressure on the options chain anyways. So the theory, who knows? It's just wild. It's how much does retail really control over movement in the price action via the options chain? How much do we really influence it?
None, unless you have a big ass wallet that's got millions of dollars to start throwing in there.
Right. And then if you do get everybody to do it at the same time, that is indeed collusion and illegal, which is the whole point of this movement, is to be a morally correct community and trading to save American companies. So it's just, I don't know. It's wild. We go back to hands. I'm ranting.
Yep. So Yair, if you want to go, and then Hank, John, and then Patrick.
Sure. Okay. A few minutes ago, I was, doing my usual shopping for stocks. Bought AMC, of course, and Hycroft, and my Hycroft didn't go through the first time, but the second time it did. So, just kind of weird, but everything was done through IEX, but I was just like, it got automatically canceled.
Any error messages or any? Oh, just automatic cancel?
Automatically canceled, yep.
Well, we're still up 4.5% right now. It's hard to borrow 4.5%, and short interest theoretically is through the roof. I'm extremely excited to see the next string of failure to deliver reportings, because I think what they did on all these spikes, failure to delivers went up drastically back in the beginning of March, the beginning of the March movement, right? It went up to 13 million and then came down to 6. And I think what they did, hopefully what I'm thinking is they covered some of those, took care of them. And that's why we had the $3.42 spike. But with the price action I'm seeing right now, I'm guessing not only did they short more, because Ortex was reporting an increase in short interest this last week, but I'm guessing the failure to delivers are going to spike again coming up on this next week. And then everybody's obviously, we've already talked about how loaded the options chain is next week for the 14th. So I wonder if they're having trouble finding shares.
Might be. And the other thing that I think you were asking, like how much power retail has, I think I saw a report that said through Fintel, they're saying that AMC is the most held stock by retail. And out of all retail money, 4% is in AMC, which kind of sounds like we're a huge well combined, like really big well.
I'm still cracking up over the fact that they tried to invite me to a HYMC short seller call last night, and today we're up 5% against everything else in the market. Oh my God.
That Elon tweet from Elon regarding like mining companies, it'd be really interesting if he actually goes to HYMC. I mean, we've talked about this before. It's really close to Tesla.
Yeah. There was DD on there, or there was calls and talks about lithium finds. I couldn't obviously verify any of that, so I didn't push it too hard. Benzinga asked her about lithium. I think they didn't they? And she said, no, we're just a silver and gold mining company. But her response to that was kind of like, whoa, how, she kind of set back by that question. And then Elon tweeting dude, I'm grinning ear to ear right now on YouTube because of that Elon post and what everybody's been saying, because it just feels like it's lining up, man. You know what I mean? Like if this happens and they do end up finding or processing lithium and Elon gets involved,
oh, that would be huge.
This thing will explode.
Oh, man.
And then they're talking about gold-backed crypto, and Elon loves Doge and all this, and it's like it all just lines up into this perfect Unimind Nexus event, Infinity Stone snap scenario, man.
But I mean, lithium is very abundant, right? Like it's not too hard to find compared to everything else. So
more or less, it's mining it is the problem. Processing it out of the mined ore and whatnot. And I know that Elon and Tesla's been working with this leaching process out in the salt flats, I think. Clay leaching. Hank Hill, what up?
I'm still kind of pissed that Elon throws this fat party in my backyard and doesn't invite me. Like, what kind of shit is that?
Oh, me too, Hank. I heard the fireworks last night. I was just upset, like live streaming and seeing it outside.
Yeah, the Doji drones. I'm like, man.
Oh,
And then, like,
yeah,
the
somebody told me
Cybertruck.
they had a Dogecoin drone show.
Yeah, they had like these light up drones that did like a show, and then it came out in the shape of like a Doge. This thing is pretty awesome.
I'm waiting so much to hear on pre-orders for Cybertruck when they're going to start filling them, because I will be down there picking one up, man.
Yeah, I'm like 30 minutes away from where that thing is. If I take the super fast freeway that you can drive like 85 miles an hour on, which is badass. That's America, folks. If you want to drive fast, come to Texas. And on top of that, gas is still under $4. Woo-hoo, man.
I miss Texas so much, dude. It's I have to live in New Mexico because my kid's here. But once she's graduated and settled and figure out where she's going to go to college, I'm definitely going to grab a piece of property on the Gulf.
Send here to Austin, man, to Texas, and you can become a Longhorn. But don't pull any of that freaking blue bullshit over here, man. We got enough of those Californians over here. I'm pissed at that. That's a whole nother story. Don't get me started politics, man.
Well, I told her Texas Tech or Austin or whatever. I said there's a lot of colleges there, and we could have a really, really, really nice place. And I got a lot of friends that are still from the military, so.
Yeah, I just was kind of mad that Daddy Elon didn't invite me, but whatever. It is what it is.
Send him a letter. Send him a like a breakup letter explaining that this is going to happen if he doesn't change his ways.
Well, I can't do it on Twitter because he'll ban me now that he owns Twitter. So
he's probably unbanning everybody.
He probably is.
He's like, oh, you don't like this guy? Okay, well, I'm going to unban him then.
Did you see that one video where they were showing him and they like mashed up, like it was probably something to do with Tesla, and they mashed up him like unbanning Trump?
Yeah. He probably will.
You can say what you want, but that shit was funny. If you don't like Trump, you got to admit that was kind of funny.
It's all, man, if we can't laugh at everything, then, what's the point of anything?
Yeah. If you guys don't do me a favor, though, I see Hedgie down there. Kick his ass out of here, man. That guy's a piece of shit. I hate that guy.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. Hedgie knows I'm joking. For anyone who doesn't know me, I'm joking with Hedgie. It's fine. I like the Ape Radio guys, and appreciate you guys. Yeah, I had more drama, so being in the space is fun for me, so I appreciate it.
Right on, brother. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for the Tesla update too. Who was next, John Q or Patrick?
I think it was me. I got another border coming up too.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah, hey, I was just gonna say when they were talking about all the options and stuff, some people were expressing interest. I really, from experience, I would really, really recommend just starting with selling the puts and calls and just watching the trends. When it's really starting to trend, like AMC, when it's really starting to trend up, that's when you sell those puts. And when it's really starting to trend down again, because it does it pretty strongly in both directions, start selling the calls. And the majority of the time, it moves fast enough that you can make a substantial amount of money in a matter of hours, days, or a week or so, and you can make the majority of your money back without letting them expire. And you don't have to worry about losing the shares that you already have or acquiring new ones if you don't want to. But for me, I want to acquire more AMCs. So I just, I'm still hoping it goes back down below 15 for me, because I got a bunch of puts on 15. So, but yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there for people and, let them know that it's not that hard to do once you kind of get into it. Just don't dip too much at a time. So, and especially on AMC and HYMC right now, they're paying a pretty good price on those because they are so volatile. So, anyway, that was it. I gotta go again. So I keep on listening. Talk to you guys. Have a good day.
Had to reset my screen. Sorry. I keep forgetting to put the Twitter space call up on the screen share so people can actually see who's talking. So, Patrick.
All right, Patrick. Yeah, go ahead, bud.
If you're trying to talk, your mic's muted, buddy. Okay, well, guys, this has been a really, really good call. to not only vent frustrations but ask questions without like getting attacked. Ooh man, sorry. HYMC just spiked to 8% right before close. Like nice candle, popped it right up to 8% for the day, and it just closed at $2.16. So shout out to Matty O for calling that this morning in my DMs, man. He's like, this would be badass if it closed above 2, buddy. And AMC closed down at 18.24, so down 7.5% for the day, which is just a dip buy opportunity.
What's up, everybody?
What's up, man?
I wanted to read some numbers to you guys. So just this quarter, you know, in our recent quarterly releases of movies, our top 4 films have grossed us, if we take 50% of the revenue from the ticket sales, $512 million. So $500 million just in the top 4 movies that I can see currently at the top of the box office. So that doesn't include Sing 2, which made $162 million. So you could add another $80 million there. You know, if you really want to talk about negotiating like the 50-50 prices or 60-40 on ticket sales, whatever you want to do. But if every single person that bought a movie ticket out of the 5,120,000 moviegoers so far in this quarter bought popcorn, it's $61,440,000.
See, now you're talking me in Swing's language, buddy.
If you bought a large drink, you got 40. If everyone bought a large drink, that's $46 million. So you have $100 million in revenue so far just off of popcorn and drinks. That's not including any candy. That's not including any burgers. That's not including any other markup on food.
Do you know?
And then that's just your top 4. That's just based off of your top 4 movies currently in.
Do you know if they did the extra $1 charge for Doctor Strange or not? Somebody
They're definitely doing. They're definitely doing that, Spence.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. Anything Marvel, anything DC, anything. I would say that's in that strike zone of like blockbuster. I'm going to say Top Gun. They're going to do it.
Oh yeah.
I would say Marvel movies are definitely going to get it for the opening weekend.
So. And that's a benefit of being an AMC Stubs member, like an A-list member, because you're not going to incur that extra $1 charge personally, but you're still giving AMC a monthly income.
Absolutely.
So, man, that's great news, man.
Yeah. So that's just off the top 4 movies. I couldn't do all the numbers. There's literally movies I've never even heard of. I didn't even know Sing 2 would get more than 50 million people. Or $50 million. That thing did $180 million worth of revenue.
Well,
in the box office. So, who the hell would have thought Sing 2? There's a couple Disney movies that were out. Morbius is currently at 39 million, and they just had their opening weekend. So we'll see how their second weekend does. You know, I think they said they're gonna come in around 88 million or something like that.
That sounds about right.
For the week. So. Yeah, the Marvel world is definitely not going away anytime soon.
Well, they had Morbius hyped for January 28th, which was Fraud Day, and we were like, we're gonna go to the freaking movies, man. And then they delayed it till April, and we're like, no.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that move. So but hey, I don't get to make the decisions, you know.
Right. I got another YouTube comment that says, Elon completes the Triforce with Hyrule Mining Company and AMC, which obviously when I play Legend of Zelda during the day, at least Highcroft went up today, so that's a good thing. Usually AMC, GME, and Highcroft go up, but dude, Swing just made a really good statement at the beginning of the call on going to the movies, buying the product, talking about exactly what you're talking about. And we used to go through more movie data earnings and stuff. I think last year, before things got really crazy with Spider-Man to try to get people hyped, I've fallen off a little bit because I'm comfortable with the return of people going to the movies, and it's just increasing. But when you come in and say stuff like that, man, it pumps me up. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, dude. The people who are now committed to not bringing their own candy, sneaking in a Coke. I was that guy who was like, you know what? I'm not paying $9 for popcorn. I'm just going to sneak in a bag of Skittles and fucking grab a drink.
Exactly.
Because I can't sneak that. You know what I'm saying? I'll grab a large Coke, but I'm not buying the popcorn for $12. Now I'm like, dude, who wants something? I'll turn around in line like, yo, if you can't afford popcorn, I got you.
Right, exactly.
And fucking, what do you need? So this is extremely exciting to hear about Doctor Strange. Batman was not too thrilled. I don't know if you guys know Batman the Investor, who's a Twitter guy. When I said Doctor Strange was killing Batman, he was none too pleased. But Doctor Strange looks like it's going to either tie or beat possibly Spider-Man for opening weekend, and that is
here's my theory on that. I think it's going to come really close to Spider-Man opening weekend, but as the word gets out about what's happening in the movie, it's going to crush Spider-Man in the long run on the total. It's going to be the next $2 billion movie.
I think so.
Let's be real. Doctor Strange is just a great value brand of Iron Man. Same story. Both troubled dudes, rich, alcohol problem, had issues, and then it's just Iron Man. Great value brand. Just saying.
Yeah, but I mean, like, Iron Man's like a playboy and like an engineer, whereas Doctor Strange is more like a doctor who gives up on his practice as a doctor and becomes a metaphysicist. You know what I'm saying? Like, he believes in like outside of the science.
What we're really forgetting and what's really popular, especially among the kids, is they love Wanda.
Yeah. Wanda. Hey, yeah.
Spence, I'm not gonna sit here and have you spread this Marvel FUD, bro. Come on, man.
This is Hank.
Wanda Maximoff could have killed Thanos.
Dude, I don't even want to. I'm gonna leave, bro. I'm pissed now.
I loved WandaVision. Some people didn't like it because it started slow, but WandaVision was phenomenal.
Dude, I can't even create drama out of nothing, dude. It's so funny.
Yeah, your investment. I mean, dude, I've been like, people are like, yeah, you know, I'm in the red. Am I okay? I'm like, I wouldn't even give a fuck.
Yeah.
You're about to get a dividend issued, maybe second half of this year, maybe fourth quarter, maybe you get third or fourth quarter. The money that is rolling into AMC, the investments that we're making, the mergers and acquisitions. Just remember, if they bring this down to $1 and you're sitting there with 500 shares and you're like, fuck, I just lost $19 a share, $17 a share. But Adam Aaron issues you $1 dividend on your $1 share, you're going to buy 5,000 shares at $1.
Right.
Or 15,000 shares at $1. And those hedge funds are going to pay you to hold those shares. So again, they're stuck in this play now. They can pretend to drop this and hurt you because you're seeing red in your account. They're eventually going to have to pay you to drop this thing.
Yeah.
Every 3 months, they're going to have to pay you money, and they can fluctuate that price all you want. You ever see Coca-Cola? Coca-Cola doesn't move more than 80 cents in a month. Never. Want to know why? Because nobody's crazy enough to short it, and people who are buying it know that it's only going to increase the dividend size by jumping back in.
And you know what's about to happen with their side revenue streams like popcorn, credit cards, and crypto? He's setting the company up to be stable on revenue with or without blockbuster years with movies. If the movies suck again next year, we'll have 3 different revenue streams to support the company.
100%.
So it's everything you're saying is right on, man.
I'm so excited, Spence. I think the next move, and I don't know if I'm right. I love the gold move. I think it's one of the coolest moves and diversifications of a company that's so far. It's an Amazon style move.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a bookstore. I'm a book retailer. Now I'm in shipping. Now I bought Whole Foods.
Right.
That's the type of range that Adam Aaron's willing to play on. That big spectrum of the entire business world. He's able to play in that world. Now we got credit cards he's talking about, cryptocurrency. If we can get production studios up, have our own TVs hooked up to streaming stations where we have our own TV shows, and then we can go see the finales and openers in the theaters, that would be fucking sick. The opening of Game of Thrones,
yes,
on an AMC theater would be awesome. So you go up and you be, instead of the HBO home theater, be the AMC home theater and be like, yo, we're going to go get the next best writer, TV show producer, and we're going to put it his openings and we're going to put his finales in the theaters.
That's all Netflix has going for it is the Netflix Netflix originals, which a lot of them are really good. I don't have Netflix anymore for obvious reasons, but the expansion. What's up?
Yeah, they're not supported by revenue from popcorn and drinks.
Exactly.
So again, if you just get them to come in for the finale of a season finale and be like, yo, we have a fucking season finale and we know we can dump money into it because everyone's going to want to come see the season finale of this in the theaters.
Netflix is super dependent, though, on having contracts with the movie companies, though, because of their content that they make is limited as well. But even then, from a content quality standpoint, freaking Apple just shit on them at the Oscars, bro. Like, and Apple doesn't, like, they've probably made like 5 movies that I can think of off the top of my head. And I'm exposed to a lot of Apple stuff just because. But it's like Coda, like they had a really well done movie with like the sign language thing. Which is a phenomenal movie. It was really good. And they also had that one with Samuel Jackson, The Banker. That one was a pretty solid movie as well. But then also their shows like Ted Lasso. And this other one that we really like is Acapulco. It's like it takes place in like the 80s. So it's like
I was supposed to watch.
Yeah, their content, like from quality standpoint, is really high. The quantity, not as much. But it's one of the things as they build their library or Apple gets more access to other stuff, I think they're gonna put a big dent into Hulu and Netflix.
Which is perfect, but here's the thing, man, is when streamers dilute each other's quality by making people choose, again, would you choose Apple right now over Netflix? Would you choose Hulu over Netflix? Would you choose Netflix over HBO Now? Again, you have to make choices eventually because there's so many, and all of them are going up in price. It's almost more than
that doesn't affect me because I still use my parents' login. So
the good thing, well, Netflix is talking about charging extra.
Here's what I'm saying. So imagine being an A-list member, right? You're an A-list member, Spence. You go and get an A-list thing, and you get to go to the movies 3 times a month. Well, guess what? If the premiere of your TV show or the finale of your TV show is on, you're going to see that because it's movie quality in the theater. And they can put production into that type of show because they know they're going to get revenue from popcorn, movie ticket, whatever. For people who don't have A-list, they get pure profit straight from the production because they don't have to pay a production studio. They are the production studio.
Well, I want to see AMC produce a real-life King of the Hill, and I tell you what, that shit will be gold.
I'm game for that. But yeah, I would absolutely watch my TV series episodes. I would have loved to watch all the Marvel What Ifs in theater because they were really, really good. Like, I really enjoyed them.
That's why I bought my little setup, man. Have a little projector and inflatable screen. I do like outdoor theater style. So.
I got one too. I got my whole living room wall turns into a projection screen at nighttime.
You're telling me people would not want to go see the House of the Dragon with the Targaryens?
Oh, yeah.
You know there are so many Game of Thrones freaks out there waiting for that.
I was watching Game of Thrones last night.
What would be interesting to see, though, is if they do like an exclusive where it's like you get to see it a week or 2 early in a theater.
Absolutely.
Which that would be the thing that they would have to entice it to make it, I think, worth it. Otherwise, people would just kind of like wait at home.
Yeah, but hey, if you're the production studio, you get to do that if you want.
Yeah,
you know,
but if it's like
before it's released, come see it in theaters on Friday, and then on Saturday we'll release it the next day.
Hey, people on YouTube said you guys are really pumping them up right now. They're loving this.
Oh,
well,
man,
I don't know about YouTube. You might want to go to Twitter. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to promote anything else.
The potential catalysts for AMC right now, we have so many in line that are going to happen, but the new ones coming that we're theorizing or haven't been put on the table are endless, man. You can't short a company like that. Even with the debt they have $1.7 billion in cash. 1.75 billion in cash if they do any more mergers. And, you know, Gasparino's talking about he has inside information on 5 to 6 more acquisitions or mergers coming. Man, can you imagine what could be happening right now and why Adam Aaron is quiet? That's extremely bullish.
Guaranteed to be heavily shorted as well. And guaranteed to have a fucking army following Adam Aaron into the play.
Well, that's just it. Now they know they can crush shorts in every single one of their positions. If the investment looks like it's going to be a decent diversification and vibes with the community, people are just going to follow them into it. One, you're going to have day traders jumping in just to flip it, which is going to crush shorts and cause liquidity issues for them. But it's the same thing Ryan Cohen's doing with Bloodbath and Beyond, man. It's just great. And who's to say in the long run that right now HYMC couldn't be preparing to issue a dividend right now, which would absolutely blow shorts out of the water.
That would be amazing. Oh, my goodness.
Hey, we're going to pay you a dividend in gold receipts or silver receipts. Fuck, okay. I'm game. I am so game for that. More than I can explain.
Just imagine.
Or shares. They could very much well have done the big dilution, which it wasn't really a dilution, the share authorization of 1.4 billion, because they know they're going to do some type of share dividend, which I am also game for. So, and Elon Musk's tweet too. Sorry, Elon Musk's tweet's just crazy. Go ahead, man.
No, we have them cornered with Highcroft. I think that whoever is shorting it, I don't know exactly which companies are short Highcroft. It's got to be Citadel or Melvin.
I'm very sure it's Citadel and White Box Advisors.
Yeah, and you just have to believe that this was like a got you moment, like for Adam Aaron. Like, you're gonna sleep on us, and you don't even. They did not see this coming. There's no way they totally got blindsided by Adam Aaron's acquisition into Highcroft Mining along with Sprott. This was totally a mousetrap.
Here's a pretty good thought that I just popped in my head. Sprott has been running Save Canadian Mining for a while and has been talking about predatory shorts for the past 3 years. What if Sprott is lining up more mining companies that don't just do silver and gold, and AMC is getting ready to invest in those?
That's You're changing the world with those moves.
I wonder if there's any, you know what I'm going to look up tonight? Distressed mining companies that shoot for nickel and lithium, and see if there's any that are heavily shorted. That would make a lot of sense.
If people can get in on a distressed mining company.
It's interesting that all of these guys hate these shorts, and they have, because that the short sellers, the very short hedge funds are sitting there and they're lending shares to each other and they're bailing each other out, and they're making sure that one short doesn't go under by giving them a strategic investment, as Ken Griffin called his investment into Melvin Capital. It was a strategic investment. No, it was a bailout. It was protection, and then you drove the price back down to protect and save his ass from a margin call that would have bankrupted all of you. So again, it's not hard to believe that the people who are owning these companies, CEOs of these companies, that they are not totally aware that they cannot collude, but they can make business business moves together and go into business together in order to fund businesses that are struggling and maybe turn them around as innovators and future CEOs and board members of those companies. So again, it's not collusion. It's just good business to take a failing business and make it great.
Well, they're the anti-predatory short. They're the exact opposite of what the shorts are doing. You know, somebody on YouTube, Dre00, said, what if they're investing in distressed movie production companies? Which lines up with exactly what you were talking about earlier. Because there are some movie production companies out there that are either just starting up and or are distressed. So I don't know, man. It's nice having so many catalysts. Catalyst potential unknown, because now shorts are constantly guessing what's about to go on. Like, they don't know what they're going to do next, which is not what they expected. They expected all these CEOs just to sit in their chair, let their company go down the drain, and have no power to do anything. It's like the rise of the CEOs, you know?
Yeah, I mean, they got to fight back, man. They've been run down by Wall Street. Wall Street has been controlling the financial of these companies for the greater part of 35 years from a predatory short standpoint that we know of. You know, so again, with the ability to do everything electronically, you know, start getting into algo trading, high frequency trading. These guys have been more efficient at fucking up good companies than ever before. You know what I'm saying? And they just keep getting more efficient at it. So it only makes sense that now the tables are going to turn when these CEOs start to come together and start fighting back against predatory short selling.
I get you. Crow Boss, you unblocked yet?
Pay attention and help me. Hold on 1 second. My wife's driving and letting me tweet, so I have to show her where we're going. Hold on for a minute.
Okay. Yeah, this dude, man, I'm glad you came in today. How do you say your name? Ojak?
It's Soika.
Soika, thanks. I'm glad you came in today, man, because you were really explaining a lot of good things for AMC that I talked about in my last video, but they don't make it to everybody's ears. But today there's a lot of engagement, a lot of viewers, and you just nailed it right on the head. And Swing Trade too, man, exactly what you were saying about the movies. Absolutely amazing, guys. It was great.
Hey, thanks for having me, Spence. I'm at actual work right now, but I couldn't help it. I love the conversation. I had to jump in with you.
Oh, man, you're always welcome.
Thanks,
I see the crew. I see the crew.
Yeah, he's driving or tweeting or something's going on right now, so he'll be back in a minute. But yeah, I'm trying to wrap my head around potential other, besides my popcorn theory, my popcorn company theory, which I think they're going to do. I think it's necessary for them to either license the name to a company that's already bagging, or B, buy one, which there's plenty of distressed popcorn companies right now. Plenty of them. Like, you take the lowest branded name popcorn, not grocery store branding, because they do pretty good actually. But like Jiffy Pop has not been doing good for how many years now? So, you know, they could completely take over their infrastructure and kick up their AMC popcorn stuff for very cheap. And Jiffy Pop's a classic name too. So if people realize like, oh man, AMC is buying out Jiffy Pop to get their popcorn on the shelves, that's pretty cool.
Spence, did you check on that girl, Amy? Is she okay today?
I have her blocked, man. Some people send me DMs going on. Like, somebody sent me a DM that said she tagged me and invited me to a HYMC short seller call. And I'm like, there's nothing to discuss. HYMC has $1.50 in cash per share on hand right now. You'd be dumb to short that. And then they're down 8% today.
Yes,
I drove through Winnemucca today, Spence. I was thinking of you.
Oh shit! Nice.
Yep. I drove through Winnemucca, and I even took a picture for you.
That's awesome.
But
dude.
now that I'm officially unblocked on Twitter, I can send it to you, or I can tweet it.
I appreciate that, brother. Did it smell like lithium and gold and silver out there, or what?
No, it smelled like gasoline. That's the only reason I stopped there. so, but all's good. It's good to be back. It's good to be back on Twitter.
Welcome home,
My teeth
man.
are sharp. My teeth are sharp. I'll say this. You know, if I'm Ryan Cohn, you know, if he wanted an enemy for free, he's got one. He's, you know, he wanted to light the fuse. You know, we'll see what happens over time, but I will not forget this.
Do you think it was him that got you blocked off of your tweet, or do you think it was just algos?
It was him and his handlers. So,
Well, good luck with that, man. That's not an enemy. I wouldn't want to have either of you as an enemy, so.
well, the one thing is, if you're gonna pop off on Twitter, you have to be ready for what comes your way, and to then start twisting words to block someone for a week, or to get someone kicked off for a week is pretty rash.
I need to make a meme. I need to make a UFC meme or something with you guys going Crow Boss versus Ryan Cohen.
Oh no, I'm not. I have nothing planned for him at the present. Nothing.
Yeah.
But we'll just. He now has my eyes. So that's what he wants. That's what he's got.
Well, make sure you don't do anything until after that dividend hits. All right. We're all waiting.
Oh, for sure. I mean, he'll do his merry way, but his whole concept of trying to twist words to get people booted just doesn't work. So we'll see.
Dude, I get booted from Twitter for saying ivermectin. I had to delete a tweet where I just wrote ivermectin that BAM Investor retweeted, and I got a freaking warning on it, even though I was like, I read this from the medical library, the .gov medical library, and I'm shadow banned right now for sure. My follower account keeps hitting 5,200 and then dropping by 2, and then 5,200 and dropping by 2. So I know I'm shadow banned again.
Anyway, I gotta help navigate here, but I wanted to say hello and have a great weekend, and I will catch everybody.
Right on. You guys be safe.
Yeah, take care.
All right.
Hey, Mark, make sure you execute your weekend, bro, the way you want it.
I'm not using that word. Your word, not mine.
Good to hear from you, Mark. Good to see you, Mark.
Take care. We'll
Later,
see
Mark.
everybody. Bye.
Have a safe drive.
Was it too soon? Too soon or no?
Just before the GME Maxis come in here and try to rip everybody apart, Mark's opinions on Ryan Cohen are his own, okay? Did everybody hear that? Mark's opinions on Ryan Cohen are his own. Okay, now we can move on. So in that, Mark wrote a tweet at Ryan Cohen that was worded improperly that looked like he made it sound.
It just needed punctuation. I can't even say punctuation. Yeah.
It made it sound like he said execute Ryan Cohen when he was saying time to execute Ryan Cohen, like time to execute your plan. So
yeah.
What's up, Yer?
I pinned something. I don't know if this is like more GameStop just because Mark reminded me of this, but their website says it's almost here and has Spaceman in outer space.
Ooh, I'm gonna go to GameStop website. Just so everybody knows, I support GameStop thoroughly. I literally have spent more money at GameStop in the past 6 months in the mall than I ever have in my entire life. I bought a Wii, I'm playing Zelda, and the stocks go up when I do it. Okay, you said the GameStop website?
I mean like the NFT GameStop.com website.
Yeah.
I pinned it at the top.
I actually signed up for that too. I love what they're doing, getting GameStop back together and bring. Oh yeah, wow, that's a really nice image. NFT beta almost here. Become a creator. Ooh.
We need AMC to become a creator over there or something. Be amazing if that they could collab like that.
I wrote Adam Aaron that AMC should create a NFT repository on like OpenSea or something, so that apes can create NFTs and gift one to AMC, and then someone in AMC or the community votes on the top 10 every month or so, and then they display those for the first minute before a movie on the big screens. Like, here's the top 10 AMC NFTs for the month. Ooh, gotta plug my phone in. Power to the creators. Request to become a creator on the GameStop NFT marketplace. I'll tell you what, as far as NFT marketplaces go, I have a feeling GameStop is going to end up taking a very, very big market share.
I mean, right now OpenSea has the most, right? And then I think it's Rarible or something like that.
Yeah, Rarible is really difficult. I tried it. OpenSea just has the easier platform, but they do have a lot of issues. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, this is cool, man. They make it really simple. In a few short sentences, please describe yourself. AMC shill. HYMC shill. GME customer. There we go. Ah, cool. Well, man, what a great freaking call, you guys. We covered the headline topic beautifully. Very, in my opinion, respectfully, so we didn't hurt anybody's feelings again. But if Astro or Trey ever hear this or find this video or hear the chat or somebody tells them, I would love for them to come on a call and explain in a more controlled string the theory, the idea, and allow for some Q&A in the community, so that you don't just bash people for not understanding it immediately. But if you're going to push an idea like that, you got to have an education source for people to understand it. That's a little more organized.
Hey, Spence, I agree 100%. And, you know, in the past half hour, I've been kind of doing my research on that 1348, whatever it is. And I get it. I get it now. I get why they're doing it. I think that if they wanted to, if really schooled option traders want to do that, that's cool. I don't think the whole community can do that. And I just want to say, if Astro was listening, I meant nothing by, no affront to Astro about him when I thought he was mean to people. But yeah, it's way confusing, and I can see him getting frustrated, and I can also see him reading those, comments coming across his page too. So
well, and he gets as much hate as we all do too. So, yeah, I wish they would come back on. I know.
You guys there?
Oh yeah, sorry, I was muted. I was talking and muted again. Yeah, I agree with you, PJ. And some of the comments he got were absolutely just shit that we get on us too. So I get his frustration, and I also get his frustration with people not knowing or not being willing to learn and just assuming and speaking on it wrong. But today was some very, very good differential in dispute to that idea, which I gotta say, I agree with more than the theory. And then the Frankness article kind of said the same thing we thought. And the potentials of all our catalysts and movements and everything going on coming up the rest of the year outweigh the potential of that theory. Not that it's not an interesting theory, but it's just, it's like a massive risk to take at this point for anyone. So, I mean, that's where we all stand on it. It's everybody said their piece, and hopefully nobody gets their feelings hurt and nobody's been attacked and all that blah blah blah. But HYMC is up almost 2% in after hours now. 220, baby. I'm telling you, 420 on 420 at 420. If that happens, I'm gonna do something crazy. And I hope Abe Radio is hosting a call.
If Elon buys into HYMC, I don't care what the stock does on 420, because I'll probably be in the Caribbean somewhere. No, not in the Caribbean. I'll be in some ski resort somewhere.
Meet me at the Texas Gigafactory to pick up Cybertruck, and we'll go to the Gulf and have fresh shrimp tacos.
Woohoo, you got it.
So if anybody didn't see that post that Jen put up earlier and a couple came in and talked about, it's Elon Musk. Price of lithium has gone to insane levels. Tesla might actually have to I can't get giddy without reading this. Man, Tesla might actually have to get into the mining and refining directly at scale unless costs improve. There is no shortage of the element itself, as lithium is almost everywhere on Earth, but pace of extraction refinement is slow. And right now, from what I read, Nevada has almost no lithium production, but they have a lot of lithium. Plus, since it's already a mining state with people and assets, infrastructure ready to go, especially with the POX high pressurization refining process that HYMC is doing now, you can actually get lithium from that process along with uranium. Man, it's so hard to read that tweet without getting excited about it. Overexcited.
I mean, it's just perfect for Tesla factory in Nevada, and then it's close to the one in California. So, yeah, direct.
Hi, Spence.
Direct.
What's up, dude?
Hey, did you see the last tweet after that one in the same thread?
No, I did not. I got so many screens up, it's hard to keep up with it. Another Elon tweet?
Yes. Somebody asked, theoretically, it will be possible to convert the entire U.S. vehicle fleet to electric using only lithium in Nevada. That's just a single state. And he said, true.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God. You got to be kidding me. Let me find this. Thank you for telling me that, man. I'm loving this. I am loving this.
I found it, Spence. I pinned it to the top.
Thank you. Are you kidding? Where's it at here? Thanks everybody for pinning stuff to the top
wow.
too.
I just read that. Wow.
I don't see it. All right, let me go to Elon. Dude. Oh man, if this materializes, I am so glad, even more than I already am, that I got in when I did and how I did. All right, how come I can't find it on this tweet here? And why am I not getting notifications from Elon Musk?
Okay, I just DM'd it too, Spence.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm having all kinds of tech
It's okay.
difficulties.
Just check your DM.
It's probably because I'm shadow banned for saying ivermectin, which YouTube's probably going to take me down for saying that on YouTube too. Pranay Pathole. Pranay Pathole. Let me pull this up on the screen. I'll just read it again. Thanks for bringing that up, Chris, man. That's awesome. Theoretically, it would be possible to convert the entire U.S. vehicle fleet to electric using only the lithium in Nevada. That's just a single state. Elon Musk. True. Fuck. I'm retweeting that, baby. Oh my gosh. And I'm going to tag Diane Garrett in it. And Adam Aaron. Man, that is... How does that get so bullish so fast? And people literally weeks ago, which I take no credit for it because I wasn't on board with it or knew about it, but people were talking about theoretically Hycroft had found lithium in their mines, and the theory was they were going to process it. So oh man, that's so cool. You know, I feel like if nobody else has anything to communicate through the call, then I would love to wrap it up on that note because it's extremely positive. And I want to get back to playing Zelda because the price action's starting to move again, so I don't want to jinx it. But I want to thank every single person for coming in this call today. I feel so freaking good now, more than I did earlier today. Great call with Ape Radio. You know, I was positive on all the plays, but I just felt some bad zen, some bad energy. Thank you everybody on YouTube for your comments. Please follow everyone up in the panel right now because they all contributed way more than I did or could. And this is probably one of my favorite call-in videos I've ever been on. And I wish Tara would have been here because she would have been fucking rocking on this. There would have been a lot of giggles and laughing and let's fucking go. So, but
sorry, I didn't say enough of that today. Let's go.
Go ahead, Jen. Let's have a good one.
All right, let's fucking go.
Yow! Let's fucking go. Woo! Let's fucking go, baby.
Like that?
Well, hurry. I'm trying. I used to be able to do the Bobby voice. Oh yeah, guys. Yeah. Oh, this is really great. You know, gold. I love. Let's fucking go. Ah. Kermit the Frog here, and I really love gold. Ah.
It's not easy taking HYMC green.
Everything is proceeding exactly as I have foreseen. All right,
yeah,
man.
I'm feeling pretty good about next week for HYMC for sure. So,
well, I mean, you guys,
wild, all the other news that's coming out. I mean, Elon tweets, I should say. Yeah, this is exciting.
If you guys
Let's
go to
fucking go, baby! Woo!
You guys go to the YouTube video, you will see my shit eat and grin nonstop today. So thank you very much. Jen, PJ, thanks for co-hosting you guys. Swing, man, thanks for always coming up. I'll say, man, Swing comes in a lot and really clarifies technical statements and terminology, and it's a priceless asset to have in our community. And everybody else, Sugar always coming in, keeping things positive, keeping people level-minded. It's just great, man. You guys freaking rock. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. Man, much love, guys. It's gonna be a good weekend, and make sure you go to the movies. I'm going tomorrow. I'm going to the movies tomorrow. Don't know what I'm gonna see yet, but I'm gonna go. So
love it. Yep. Everyone have a great weekend. HYMC, AMC, to the moon, baby. Let's go. Woo!
To the moon. Have a good weekend, guys.
Hey, everybody, thank you for coming so much, man. This was a great space call. Amazing comments in the chat. Love you guys for coming to watch. You know, we're not trying to push buy this or that. That's not what I'm doing at all. Don't do anything that I'm doing unless you know what you're doing. Okay, I'm doing these calls just to transmit the information from the Twitter calls and give my opinion. And if you guys like it, cool. If you don't, cool too. Hope everybody has a little bit better understanding of what we were talking about with Trey and Astro and their video and the theory, the put theory. I highly recommend you guys go watch their full videos and listen to what they say. Because the only thing you're going to do is end up learning something, which we all did today. We took what they said and we learned from it, and now we think we have a better understanding. And again, if Trey and Astro hosted a space call together and went back and forth on their theory and then took some independent bring one person up at a time Q&As, I think it would be a lot better for the community. So anyways, thanks for coming, guys. Enjoy your weekend. Please stay safe. Go to the movies. I'm going to the movies Saturday. I'll probably get to go see Morbius this time. Car crash stopped me last time. So everybody take care. Froggy Stonks out.